This mine level is called Hot Hot Hot, but I'm going to show you how to be chill. I'll share tips to get the most out of this level, what's changed down here in the past few releases, along with a checklist of what to bring to each of the 3 different mine levels. Let's grab a mine pass and head down this big rabbit hole. There have been some changes to the mines since my last mine tips video, which I'll leave linked at the top right and in the description box below. The access to the mines are very much dependent on one another. You can't get to the 3rd mine level without first having shards from the 2nd level, and you can't get to the 2nd level without getting bits from the 1st level. This brings me to the first change in the mines, the Gem Crusher. Each of the levels have mineable ore which shards are visible. The 1st level of the mine contain red ruby shards. The 2nd level, or Undergrove, house green emeralds, and the 3rd level, Hot Hot Hot, otherwise known as Hell, at least by me, has Baconium. Each of the mine levels has a crusher right next to the elevator, which takes one of these carryable items and turns them into shards. If you break the ore deposit without the crusher, you only get 1 shard. However, using the crusher gives you a chance for a perfect ruby or emerald. In the Hot Hot Hot, you potentially walk away with 0 Baconium ore if you break it without using the crusher. As mentioned earlier, to get to the Hot 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 level, you need yourself 4 green emerald shards along with a mine pass. Before going to Hell, I'd recommend bringing along at least 2 fish. 2 fish, I hear you ask? Well, just bear with me. 1 medium-sized fish, which takes 2 tiles, as well as a 3 tile, which I'll call a large fish. I've used a similar technique to what the community has now known as the battle fish, which has taken a whole new meaning with the fact that you can get a battle fish from fishing on sharks. Links in the description for those 2 videos around how to tackle the alpha bush devils, along with how to catch those battle fish. But battle fish is used in a different method, so let's get to that. The tricky part about this level is finding the treasure rooms. You might find yourself gliding around what seems like forever before you even find one. Unlike the other 2 levels, these are somewhat labyrinths inside. Once you find one of these enclosed rooms, you need to work your way around them until you find the entrance, which are normally marked by these torches and black marble on the ground. This is where you can use one of the 2 fish tanks that you've got in your pockets. A medium size will do. Just place them on the ground between the 2 torches to grant yourself reprieve from these cute sounding but nasty yoblins. You can be safe from them and use an alpha hammer to damage them. You can also unleash an onslaught from the other side of the glass while the fish tank itself protects you. One thing to note on the map are these C-shaped markings on the map. Think C as in chest room, and make sure that you mark them on the map to know which ones you head to. You can easily get lost. I also tend to mark the entrance to know how to get the darn heck out. Don't be like me, be careful when you place your markers. Oh, it's worth noting that when you enter these chest rooms, you're entering from the closed C part, not the open C part. This will hopefully keep your bearings straight. You'll need to make your way to the chest rooms, and on the way you'll be greeted with double doors, which you'll need at least 1 key. You don't have to open both. To keep you safe, you can use your large fish tank and place it beyond the locked door to give you some protection when you open it. Once you do, that tank will give you extra safety in small rooms like this. As you get closer to the actual chest rooms, you can use alternate camera angles to find yoblins or flame jellies near you and hit them with the hammer, safely without opening the door yet. It's worth noting that the healers and yoblins will not be affected when they're in the lava. You need to try to lure them onto the ground so that as you switch from one side to the other side, you can use the hammer to use the ripple effect and damage them from a safe point. You can also place a medium or large fish again on the other side of the locked door before you open it. Here you can use a spear behind the tank or hit from on top of the tank. Once you get rid of the baddies, make your way to the red chest, which gives you goodies like the tree pinchers, which allows you to move full-grown trees on your island. You'll also find things like the key cutters, which gives you a key every 7 in-game days. You might have noticed me gliding around on a fancy flame glider. That's one of the other things that can be sitting inside one of these red chests. There is also potential to uncover one of these new tele-jumpers, which is kind of like a Nokia looking mobile phone, which allows you to travel from one place to another on your map without using a tele tower. Anywhere you are, you can place a marker as well and head straight to that one. Really handy. After clearing the chest, I tend to change my map marker to a cross to tell me that I've finished the room. The hot mines are not for the faint-hearted. I'd recommend going to this level after your first endgame year. The reason for this is that on your first year anniversary and every year thereafter, you'll get what's called a snag from Fletch, which might seem like a small sausage, but is actually a powerful tool. When you eat one sausage, it increases your maximum food edibles from 3 to 4 to a maximum of 5 after eating 2 snags, and the effect is permanent. This has a huge impact on what foods you can have to survive in this level. On that note, you can now eat in the mine shaft, which was previously impossible, and you can also get respite from damage in the safety of the mine. This brings me to healing. I explain more in a dedicated video about stamina and health, which I'll leave linked. However, since that video, you don't have to carry around a seat anymore. There is a new sit emote built in. I just wish James might add a shortcut key or a button to use this directly in the future. Let me know in the comments if you'll find this useful. Quieten down, you lot. Stop jumping around. I'm making a video. Oh, by the way, keep a 2-tile height from lava. We'll keep these guys at bay, and also along with these volcano looking things in the lava, which is where these guys are born from. So get rid of them. Now, since my last video, there have been some changes in the game, which includes what the effects are of peaceful mode. Now, the creatures in hell still attack, since James has playfully played an exception to the rule to keep the 3rd level hard. And that excuse is that they're not animals, so the peaceful wish doesn't work on them. I personally think that's confusing, as any antagonists in the game should be neutralized. That's the point of being peaceful. Undergrove or the 2nd level of the mine, the pincher plants will still attack, as do the grubs, as they're not considered animals. The blooming frillies, that's a tongue twister, the blooming frillies, however, won't give you a hard time. Also, you'll find that the silver pocket watch doesn't work down in the mine either, which is a shame. Nor does the tele-jumper, which I spoke about before, should you find one in the hell level. What does work is having the backpack, which is a game-changing item. This can be found in this level of the hot. It allows you to wear a backpack and perfectly carry around a chest full of items. Having said that, it is said that your hitbox is bigger wearing it. What that means is it makes you an easier target because your body is effectively bigger for the baddies to get you. So be mindful of that, but you can still use the hand trolleys to move storage chests around into the mineshaft. I did notice that your hand trolley disappears as you enter the elevator, but once you get to the top and exit the mine, you've got it back in your hands again. I had a recent comment from a viewer, Top Mass Music, in my previous Mine Tips video. It informed me that the chest rooms in the Undergrove are now in the northwest quadrant room rather than the southwest quadrant room. It still means you need only 2 keys, but you need to enter from the northeast door to get to the goodies. Thanks for the info. I'd love to know if anyone finds exceptions to this rule. On the topic of cardinal direction, I did notice that in the hot entrances, they tended to be north facing. I had what I thought was a bright idea, trying to get around hell using a helicopter, but it turns out James has put a stop to that. As you can see, the vehicle starts catching on fire and eventually drops you into the lava. The same deal happens to that brand new plane in the 1.0 update. One thing to be aware of is if you do die, you'll be revived back in the mineshaft, which you'll lose anything you'd placed along in the hell level, along with some of your money and some of your tool durability. It's worth noting that moving your money into your pocket still has you lose money on revive. The best way around this is to drop your dinks into the bank or a basic chest so that this isn't impacted. Oh, did you know that NPCs can now revive you when you're hanging out, as Milburn kindly does here to me? They're also meant to come down with you into the mine as long as you can give them some tools like the jackhammers, mining helmets, weapons, but they won't come down into the hot since they can't glide, but hopefully they'll be able to follow you into the first or second levels. I think there's a bit of a bug at the moment, hopefully James fixes that. When it comes to the mines, you can break these water barrels to turn lava into ground. This helps you make a path from cluster of Baconium to take it to the crusher. I often wish I could just use a watering can to do the same, as it's excruciatingly slow making a path just to ensure you get 3 ore from the crusher. Come on James, I know you want to add the water can feature to the game. It's just like Zelda. For this reason, I'd recommend deciding up front as to what you're hoping to achieve in this day's mine run. Are you going for Baconium or chests? Which, by the way, you can also get them from chests anyway, so that's what I do, unless you're super easy to get them clusters close by. Blastodes are another thing to have in your inventory, which you can get from some of the chests in the hot level. It'll stun the baddies long enough for you to have revenge on their no good. This leads me to using the medium or 2-tile fish at the entry of one of the treasure rooms. Here you can lure the yoblins and the other foods and the other dudes. Must have been a typo in my script. The healers can deal quite the damage to you, including healing the yoblins and shaking the screen, which can really make you lose your bearings. In addition to this, when you get confused in-game, you'll be seeing stars. Literally, like on screen. When you do, best thing to do is get into the habit of jumping up and gliding where you are. When confused, your controls are reversed, so going forward is going back and going left is going right. So jumping up and deploying your glider keeps you safe until the effect dissipates. Oh, you might notice as well, when you get these guys low enough in health, they start running away from you, so get back. Get back. Get back to where you once belonged, yoblin. If you haven't really played Dinkum since Breezy Autumn Update, you'll be pleased to know that there's a new way to get yourself old keys. These are of course crucial to going down in the mines. Just pop in some old relics and soon you'll be rewarded with more old relics, this time old keys. When defeating the yoblins, you get a chance at a drop of one of the Baconium wands along with a bush devil hood, which unlike Zelda games doesn't fool them into thinking you're one of them. One of the foods recommended on the list is ice cream, which gives you a chill buff. Here's a comparison between recovery from falling into the lava. Where are you, Milburn? Milburn? As promised earlier in the video, here are the items I'd recommend bringing down to with you in each of the mine levels. Here's a playlist of other Dinkum 1.0 features, and AG Nations are my gems, and thank you for your support to the channel.